5 seconds. Favor another chance. That's blocked on the far wall by Howard.
Well, for the 5th time in 8 seasons, your Vegas Golden Knights are heading to round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs after beating the Minnesota Wild 3-2 in Game 6 to wrap up a series win. It's Jamie Hersch, VGK broadcaster, joining me for her insight. Jimmy, what do you make of the Golden Knights right now after 3 straight wins?
Well, I think they're definitely feeling confident going into round 2. The fact that they were down 2-1 in this series and were able to win back-to-back games in overtime and then close it out in Game 6 to make sure they didn't have to worry about all that can go wrong in the Game 7, that speaks volumes about where this team is mentally, and I like their chances going forward.
So as far as this game goes, Shea Theodore started up the scoring early on in the first period. Fast forward with a 1-1 tie, Jack Eichel late in the second period eventually makes it 2-1 with his first goal of this series, and then late in the third period, Mark Stone nets a goal to make it 3-1 Vegas. The Wild do net a goal of their own shortly later, but in the final seconds of this one, the Golden Knights do not let the Wild score with an empty net, wrapping up this series win. 2 straight overtime wins and now a very promising road win for the VGK. Jamie, it's early in these playoffs, so what makes you optimistic about this team's chances?
Well, just throughout the season, I've sensed this maturity in that room, right? They have the veteran leadership. So many of those guys know what it takes because they just did it 2 years ago. They won it all, and so they know the kind of grind that it takes to stay focused throughout 4 rounds of Stanley Cup playoff hockey. Again, the fact that they were able to rattle off 3 straight wins, I think speaks very well in their favor, and I also really like that when the leadership group was getting questioned, Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, a quiet start to the series. They didn't let that faze them. They ended up coming through in the clutch, and certainly Jack Eichel with a huge goal tonight. So I think everyone's feeling very good and very confident going into round 2.
Now, Jamie, you joined the VGK broadcast staff this season, so you haven't seen a lot of these watch parties, and you did. Yeah. So what a way to take in a game on the road, and you got the VGK staff here, you got Chance and the Golden Knight. Pretty rowdy atmosphere overall.
It really was, right? Yeah, stadium swim here, which I've only seen before. I had never been myself, and so to see people not only just here to enjoy a good time, but like they were locked in on the game, right? They were all, nobody was moving, talking, nothing. They were all locked in on the game for that final minute when the Wild were threatening to tie it. And so that just speaks to the level of hockey fandom that was also here today.
So the Knights take this first round series against the Wild in 6 games, winning the last 3 games. But now VGK fans are wondering, Jamie, who are they playing next?
Well, I guess they're playing the Edmonton Oilers, right? The Edmonton Oilers able to close out the series tonight, which, to be honest, I'm shocked. I definitely thought this was the year the Kings were finally going to take down the Edmonton Oilers. This is now 4 straight years that the Oilers have ended the Kings' playoff hopes. So that's a tough pill to swallow for LA, especially being up 2-0 in the series. But that just shows how dangerous Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl really are. And Vegas will certainly have its hands full against them. It's going to be a fun series for sure.
Yeah, before this season, Jack Eichel was asked who the biggest rival is for the Golden Knights. And he was one of the few players on the team to say right off the bat, Oilers. So that's what you can expect in this second round matchup of these playoffs. But it's Jamie Hersch here. You can catch her on the Vegas 34 VGK game broadcast shows. We appreciate your insight.
Yeah, thanks so much.
All right, big night for the Golden Knights as they are moving on. Reporting from Stadium Swim, I'm Nick Walters, Channel 13 Sports.